Hello, we're
And we,
live.
hey,
We're live. I'm
hello
still seeing
everyone.
the intro rolling. How are we
Oh
live?
my
Because
God,
there's
it's
a
the
freaking
delay.
8-second delay.
Oh my
Oh
God,
my goodness. Someone get Grandpa a newspaper.
Jesus, it's the worst.
You guys always think I'm so serious.
I never take you seriously. Unless you put the word
I mean,
seriously at the end of your emails. Yeah, I probably
You
should.
shouldn't
Seriously?
take me seriously.
I should.
You should probably take this seriously.
Yeah.
When Drew says
Seriously.
seriously, he's really saying, "Are you fucking stupid?" That's really what he's saying.
that is. It's exactly what I'm saying.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's
Seriously?
Drew talk.
Oh, you guys have
Seriously,
moved
that
around.
you so fucking stupid.
Damn.
All right.
Well,
We were
What
Guillermo
are we gonna
del
do today?
Toro's Nightmare Alley, guys. So this is his next film after his award-winning. He swept the director and best film for The Shape of Water. That somewhat controversial, I think. I think a lot of people. I don't know. I thought it was very good. I thought it deserved definitely best director. I'm on the fence on the best film award, but
Which
despite
one was that?
The Shape of Water.
2019?
Oh right, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I love
here's
Del Toro.
the deal.
I love Del Toro.
Yeah,
I love him.
absolutely. Anything Guillermo del Toro does, I'm in. I think the guy's a visionary. Everything he does seems to it just clicks.
That's what you say about me all the time.
I do. Do I? Damn it! I gotta stop that. Your ego is just getting way too big.
It's too much.
I mean, what do you guys? What do you have expectations for? I mean, after Shape of Water, after everything Guillermo del Toro's done, do you guys have any thoughts on what to expect from this next film, Nightmare Alley, before we watch the trailer?
I mean,
You're talking to us?
Are you talking to me?
Anybody but PJ. That's what I'm
Ah, yes.
They can't even see me anyway. Can they hear me?
You can't. I can't see you.
No,
I can hear
Drew,
you.
you got a button. Drew's mad at me for some reason. He's got a button and he just keeps pushing
exit PJ button.
picture.
Yeah.
Push the red button. I'm excited for this movie. I haven't watched anything. I've done research and stuff. So, like, first point of view, like, I'm a little bummed. Like, it's not like a diverse cast. Like, it's a pretty good cast. Like, it's a lot of great actors. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I do wish that there was like a little bit of diversity in there. Not because like it has to be diverse, but just because like casting wise, like, if you found someone who happened to be a person of color or whatnot, like that worked for a role. I mean, that's my only thought. But like it's a film noir, so I'm excited. It's classic film.
He's back. Hi, PJ. Sorry.
Oh, am I back?
Yeah, you're back. Hi.
You're back.
Hello.
So you're saying there's too many white people in this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. I guess
excellent
that's
though they are.
Yeah,
yes.
Excellent they are. But it's directed by a non-white person, and written by a non-white person. So there you have it. Any other thoughts before we watch this trailer? I'm excited to see this.
I'm expecting
because he always
dark.
Yeah.
Like it's his Nightmare Alley, so I'm like horror film, and then I'm like, would Drew do that to me? I don't know if you would, and then I feel like you definitely would. So I'm definitely expecting some sort of horror or jump scare element of this. I don't know. Maybe
there's
I'm totally wrong.
no supernatural in this. It's based on a 1946 novel. There's no supernatural, nothing.
Okay,
that
makes me feel better. That makes me feel better.
DiCaprio was supposed to star in this. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Bradley Cooper stepped in.
I did know.
I mean, it's Guillermo del Toro. I'd be hard pressed to say there's not some inkling of something that's odd supernaturally, even if it's based in more reality. But I mean, who knows?
They say it's his first time he's done a film there's no supernaturalness in it.
Which should be really interesting.
Is that a word?
If that's
Supernaturalness? Is that a word?
Supernaturality.
It's definitely not a word.
So the Winchesters aren't in this?
Supernatural ability. There you go.
Yeah.
That's a word.
All
right, let's roll this damn trailer. Come on.
Interesting
let's
if
watch
that
this
is the case, though. If that's his first time doing something like this. All right, I have everything prepped. I just want to move Drew's because Drew's camera's moved for me. Do you guys have the trailer open?
He's open and ready to go. He was at countdown.
All right, let's go. 3, 2, 1, play.
Is he man?
Oh wait, there you go.
Bradley. He's so dreamy.
He's a beast.
That hat looks supernatural.
Is he man or beast?
He's a carny. Yeah. He's a working
carny movies.
Do you?
Willem Dafoe?
I do. I love that show, Carnival.
Rooney Mara.
I am prepared to offer you folks one last chance to witness
I
this
love Toni Collette.
oddity.
Oh my goodness.
Where did it come from?
I love Cate
By
Blanchett.
the
Oh my
same
God.
lusted threat that got us all walking
Dude, the guy's
off
wearing
this earth,
a
but gone wrong somehow in
A
maternal
bandana
womb.
with an eye on it? What is
Not
happening?
fit for living.
Oh, wow.
God, it looks good. The coloring is intense. Look at that color.
Is it a beast
Wow.
Is it a beast?
or is it a man?
Or is it a man? Who knows? It's a beast man.
You're in luck because tonight you will see him feed.
Whoa.
Come on in and find out.
That hurt.
Ooh.
Is he man or beast?
That's terrible.
I was gonna say, I was like, that's a nice cozy fire, and then they zoomed out.
It
Oh,
screams
really
of
cozy.
supernaturalness. It just
It's
screams
really
of
cozy.
supernaturalness.
December?
Yeah,
Wow,
right?
that's soon. That's
Yeah,
real
yeah,
soon.
coming
That
up.
looked
Really
gorgeous.
good.
That's a class in filming. That's a master class in filming.
That
My
looks
God.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Whoa. The costumes are
I love how
so
Ron
gorgeous. The style is
Ron
fantastic.
Perlman, is he in every Guillermo del Toro film in some
I think
fashion?
I think so.
If he's not
Sure.
playing Hellboy, he's guest starring in a role.
I feel like
It-
Hellboy should just be in this for a split second.
Yeah.
Just like
Cameo.
Yeah. Yeah, is it man or beast? And it opens up and it's Hellboy, Ron Perlman as Hellboy.
I'm here.
That tracks.
You know, as far as the trailer goes, it definitely intrigued me to go watch it. There was no oh my God moments. Well, I mean, it's like definitely an adult film where you're going to sit down and have a glass of wine and go, okay, let's get into a good movie. Like it felt that way, like a good film noir novel. That's what it felt like.
Mhm.
Yeah. This
I
is
don't know if
definitely
it's going
very
to do well. I don't know if it's going to
gorgeous.
appeal to a lot of people though. It's going to be his fans. Like I wonder if just somebody seeing that straight, not knowing who he is, or that would they be intrigued to see that? I mean, God, it looked good. Jesus, it looked gorgeous.
I think
It's
if
crazy.
anything,
I mean,
oh, sorry.
no, go ahead, Steph. Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if anything, like I think the cast would be like a draw-in. Like everybody loves Bradley Cooper, like Rooney Mara, like Cate Blanchett, like Willem Dafoe, like anybody who's like a big fan of those actors as well. I think it's gonna be like, oh yeah, I want to see this. But I think you're right.
Yeah.
Like as far as like trailer, like movie-wise, like I'm not sure if that's gonna pull people in initially.
The premise is good though. Stan Carlisle, an ambitious carny with the talent for manipulating people with a few well-chosen words, hooks up with Dr. Lilith Ritter, a psychiatrist who is even more dangerous than he is.
So like, okay, so I'm assuming the doctor's name is Cate Blanchett because what casting? And also, is he then like a magician or a faith healer or because he's
I think
manipulating people with
he's a
words?
grifter. I think he's a grifter, like a
Dude, that
carny
sounds fucking
grifter.
dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's like shots of him like wearing like a bandana with an eye on it,
Right.
and like he's doing like some. I mean, who knows? It could be him manipulating other people by pretending to have abilities that he doesn't have.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like maybe it's almost like one of those faith healers, and I'm not like trying to comfort anybody. I believe that's just what they're called, and I'm actually using that from like a play here in Ireland, called Faith Healer. But I think like that's probably what it looks like. It looks like he's trying to channel some sort of spiritual element, or he's a magician because there was like stuff where he's almost like it looks like he was in a box at one point, and then he was looking at a lock, and I'm like, oh, maybe he's a magician. Maybe he's like trying to plan an escape act or something. I don't know. That's great.
Yeah, you know, it's always one of those. It's it's one of those films. Like I agree with PJ. It's sort of like I'm not a big noir guy. Like if you know, I mean, you look back, you know, the Maltese Falcon, or what was that?
Usual Suspects. That was film noir.
Chinatown.
That was a good movie. Chinatown.
Yeah, yeah, Chinatown. Yeah, Chinatown was really good. But Chinatown's not like one of those films I revisit a lot. You know, it's not a movie that I go back to often, even though it's very good. Yeah, film noir isn't something that I enjoy when I'm watching it in the moment, but I don't think there's a film noir film in my top 20. You know, as far as like films that I would choose. So
Yeah, fair.
it's an interesting choice from a guy who's done movies like Blade 2, Pacific Rim, Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
You know, this definitely feels like feels closer to Shape of Water than it does to some of his other films. So I think that's interesting. It seems like he wants to get more into that sort of real life underbelly world, you know, like of like the working man and like these period pieces that are very. It's interesting.
Film noir is kind of I don't want to say a dead genre, but it's definitely something that they don't do as much as they used to. They used to do a lot, and all the top ones are from forever ago.
Yeah. I was looking up like modern noir films, and like Drive, Nightcrawler, Memento, Seven, like those are ones that come up. But it is like, this to me feels like the very classic like 1940s like noir.
Yeah.
But then I kind of wish it was in black and white.
Matthew Snyder mentioned LA Confidential. Again, LA Confidential is a great film. So is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang that Chris Mitchell mentioned. Again, those are great films. They're not something that I go back to often and watch. I don't know what it is about film noir. Like once the twist hits, once I understand once the film resolves, like I'm in it for that moment and that mystery and that you know. But once it sort of resolves itself, I'm sort of like, okay, I saw that story. The twist hit or the mystery is solved, and I don't know if I need to go back to it. That's just kind of my vibe on it. But here's the thing: I will say Guillermo del Toro is masterful, and I will say masterful at storytelling and pacing. So, and he's made every type of genre film, and he somehow made it just this in a way that it feels almost like an action movie, even though it's not an action movie. Like Shape of Water, its pacing is just so smart that it almost feels like you're in these action set pieces that are there to kind of keep you going, even though the movie's not about that, you know, about those set pieces. It's more about these two characters falling in love. So he's very good at like tying in different elements of other films into these other genres, which is really good. Which he's really good at.
They shot the last half of it first because of schedules, and then they got shut down for COVID, and then they had to come back, and they had a really strict COVID protocol, but they shot the end first. It's interesting.
It's always interesting with films and stuff, because obviously, like as an actor, like coming from a theater background and everything, you know, that's all you ever did was like in order, like, you know, chronologically, like everything that happens from the start to the end of the play, like you're doing it that way. It was like being on a film, you could do like the death scene and then the meat scene in the same day, but reverse, and it blows my mind sometimes that that's just how films are made. It's just about what's available at that time, who's available at that time, and what's the weather like, you know, all this kind of stuff that kind of comes into filmmaking that just always fascinates me. And that's just filmmaking in general. This film looks fantastic though. I was totally expecting some sort of horror, and like you said, some sort of like supernatural element or something because of Guillermo del Toro's kind of reputation. This is intriguing. This is not at all what I was expecting when you sent the trailer. Like when you're like, this is Nightmare Alley, and I was like, no, fuck, here we go. So this is really interesting. I'm like, oh, you mean Nightmare in like the tricksy kind of thriller style way with like a love triangle? Yeah, I'm down. Yeah. I would agree with Stephanie's earlier point though. I think like there could be some more diversity in this cast. I don't know if that's them trying to stick to something around the 1940s, if there's just a book or whatever it is. I don't know if that's what they're doing, but there was an original. Well, there's another film of this book in 1947, which is super fascinating. Which I did see the trailer of. But yeah, it's not really a trailer. It's 1947. It's just clips with some music. This was definitely very unexpected. Surprising, but unexpected. Interesting.
I wonder though. I do think it's going to be more creepy than it lets on. I mean, there's just some crazy shots, and like if you go still by still in this trailer, like there's a shot of like Willem Dafoe with there's like a jar on the screen, and inside that jar is like a baby with like a third eye.
What?
Like literally, it's like a tiny baby with like a third eye, like a giant third eye on his head. There's a shot where like Bradley Cooper's walking into a tunnel, and there's like a giant eyeball, at the end of the tunnel. Like it's obviously like a painting or a mural eyeball, but I mean, there's just like this, and there's like a devil's face that rises, that opens into like an entryway. I mean, just the art.
You're looking
design.
hard for that supernatural, aren't you?
Well, it's not necessarily supernatural, but like he's
thriller.
It's Guillermo del Toro. I mean, the guy just has a sense for, I don't know, like another way of looking at things, right? Like, I mean, if you go way back to Pan's Labyrinth, like what he did with like,
you want to date him. I think you love him.
You want to date him. He's
Yeah.
got a beard like me. We would be beard brothers.
We'd be bears.
We'd be bears. We would. And then the tarot cards flying in the title screen.
Because I know the whole book is based too, like it's on like carnies and like the darker side of like this carnival kind of life. So like to me, this kind of excites me because like I'm a big American Horror Story fan, so like this reminds me a lot of like when they did season 4 and it was the carnival, and so like there are different aspects to, I think, especially at that time, like it was pretty dark, I feel like. And you had like freak shows and like all these like terrible things, but at the same time, like people were just drawn to seeing something different. I hate to say that, but but that's what they were doing. So I think like even like looking at the poster, like what you talked about with like the devil door opening up, like there's like a poster and it talks about like sins, and like it has like all the different sins on one side, and then it's like black and white, and like there's like the devil there. So to me, like I feel like this trailer definitely, like they're hiding some facts from us, like as far as like what they've put into this movie, because to me, like they're talking about man or beast, and I'm watching the trailer and I'm like, well, he doesn't really seem like a bad guy in this trailer, so are you talking about him, or are you just talking about in general like man, or like, you know, like beast, and like just how like people are? And I mean, there's gotta be maybe some crime too, or like maybe there's some murders, like I don't know, but I feel like there's definitely something more. Like you see a house, like a very old wooden house in the distance, like towards the very end of the trailer, on fire before you see him in the room with the like fire like all over it, nice and cozy.
Just shown.
So I don't know, like I feel like they definitely left a lot out. Like I was initially going in, like I was very excited because I knew it was a film noir. Watching the trailer, I was like, it looks really pretty, but I don't know if the trailer really gave me all that I was looking for.
I feel like that's a good thing though. Like the trailer is just enough. Like it's just enough to get you intrigued to go and see it, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more revealed. It totally does like bang real strongly of American Horror Story. You're so right now that you said that about Carnival. The Carnival season totally does. There's also like a weird, maybe it's just me, but there's almost like a BioShock vibe to this. Because maybe it's like the sounds or something like that, and it's the dark and the bright colors, the vibrant colors and stuff, and I was just like, oh, this is a bit like funky.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I just kind of got like, especially with the carnival music and stuff, right? Because when you're going downstairs, there's all these like 1940s like jazz and a lot of brass, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. That's something that I took from it, rather than the horror story, but that is American Horror Story is bang on. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thought I just had too, like, like going back to like the room with the eyes, or like him like wearing the black blindfold with the gold eye logo on it, or emblem. I feel like too, like maybe there's also like a secret cult within the carnival, like it's like almost like a little like small like secret elite society or some kind of secret
cult?
society, like a carny cult. Like I feel like there might be something. I know.
I want to be in a carny cult.
You are.
It reminded me of Sherlock Holmes a little bit. The first one with Robert Downey Jr. and just kind of like their society that they had. Like it almost reminds me of something kind of like that. So it's probably not that, but
I feel like if you're in a carny cult, you know weird shit's going down. Like
totally.
Why? If there's a carny cult and you want to be a part of that, I don't know.
If it just turns out to be like a book club or something, you'd be so disappointed. You know what I mean?
That's so
it's
true.
like, oh my god, I joined this carny cult, and you all join, like, show up, and it's just like, today we read, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
that's upsetting.
War and peace.
Thanks, EJP, for the soup. Sorry.
Didn't carnivals turn into, there was two elements to them. One, they became either a place where you got ripped off, like they'd have back alley poker games that you get ripped off, or prostitutes that the guys would take your money. It's like, it just became really seedy places where if you went there, you were going to get ripped off.
Those are just all the carnivals you went to, PJ.
Yeah, it's like, what carnivals are you going to?
No, back in that traveling carny that would go through the middle of the country, the Midwest.
Yeah. We would go to the carnivals, and it would be like elephants and the trapeze, and
that's more of a circus. That's more like that.
What's the difference?
So they basically had these carnivals, and they would load up a bunch of trucks, and they would go and they would have fortune tellers and freak shows, and you try to play games, and the circus element, it wasn't really a big circus element. They had animals that you would go into a room and see type stuff, but they got really seedy and really, the traveling prostitutes and a poker game, and they always went up to Bible Belt. They started though. They used to be Christian festivals, long time. I don't know. I'm fascinated
Christian
by carnivals.
Festivals.
Yeah, they were Christian festivals. That's how they started.
How did you get from Christian festivals to?
No, but that's the origin of carnivals. They started as
crazy.
They had this like Christian origin, celebrating religion. But they were not religious by the end, man. They were devil and hellfire.
Yeah, I guess I'm having a hard time separating carnival from like circus, like because in my mind they're kind of the same thing. I don't know why, but I guess there's a difference between a carnival and a circus.
I think because the circus I don't know about American circuses, but when you get a circus here, it's like one large tent. You go in and you get a display of acts, where carnival was multiple stands, like almost like a fair in America. So you would go to like your food stand, and then you'd go to like the Lion Man, and then you could walk freely around these exhibits almost. And go see the events. So there's like, Faith Healer at 4 p.m. and then it's followed by like the Bearded Lady at 6, that kind of thing. So you kind of follow in with that rather than the circus is one hot ticket to everything.
So what is a fair? Like, how does a fair separate itself from a carnival or a circus?
So I think nowadays a fair would be including things to like purchase, like merch, games, actual rides, amusement park things. That's just a traveling fair.
Right, but that's what a carnival was in the beginning. It had a ride, it sold toys and candies.
It had like all that kind of stuff.
It had little entertainment shows. It covered a large outdoor area, where the circus is more about jugglers and acrobats and clowns and stuntmen and getting under a tent, and that was the difference. That was the difference.
I feel like I'd want merged. I feel like I think they could get rid of the fair and just go back to carnivals. They seem more cool. I would more likely want to go to the seedy, weird carnival than the fairs that exist today with the funnel cakes and the
I know I'm aging myself again, but I actually remember as a small child going to one of those carnivals that had the freak show, and you had to go in and to see the Bearded Lady and that. And I remember being scared shitless as a child.
No, don't make me go see the bearded lady. Anything but that.
That would have been in the
Can't stand
60s.
facial hair. Oh no.
She's beautiful.
Or
how
what
the
was it?
turntables.
What are the other like the man who can like lift like the like
strongest man in the world,
the strong man.
strongest man alive,
bearded lady,
right, yeah.
dog face boy.
Just anybody
so
really
many
with any sort of
Yeah. Well, I wonder,
whatever that's supposed to be.
Is there a tie-in here to Shape of Water? Because doesn't Shape of Water starts out as like in a carnival, right? Doesn't the
I think he was in like a not an act, but like a part of some carnival. I think I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh, is this a prequel?
Never seen it.
Huh? Or
Maybe
does this
he's
live in the
the
same
beast.
world? Yeah,
Maybe.
he's the beast. It's just man or beast. It's the fish thing that has sex
Wait
with
a
with
second.
people.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
It's the fish guy.
Maybe I should see that movie. Jesus.
Oh, you never seen Shape of Water?
Mm-mm.
I never saw
Oh, spoiler.
It's like Beauty and the Beast.
Spoiler, it's fish
Except
porn.
he
Fish
doesn't turn back.
Fish. Yeah.
Okay.
It gets a little. It's
How does
it's
that
actually
work?
a
I mean,
very
there's a lot of bacteria.
Well,
oh God.
Well,
it's
when
actually
a
a cool
man and
scene, and
when a
they're
fish and a
underwater,
woman
and the
get
room
together.
fills up. Yeah,
And
when
the-
man and fish get together, love happens. It's a beautiful thing.
We're gonna start talking about
I
Little
want to see
Mermaid
it
again.
narrated.
Yeah,
by David Attenborough.
yeah. Well, speaking of
Spicy.
Disney films, Guillermo del Toro's next film is Pinocchio.
Oh,
And-
That'll be
right.
interesting because
Cool.
Pinocchio can get creepy. Pinocchio
can get
really
dude. That
creepy.
shit in the when they start turning into donkeys, that shit
Oh,
freaked me
yeah.
out as a kid.
Yeah.
Like I
And
was
there's
legit
also
like
a carnival.
terrified.
Are the guys that take advantage of them, and I was just like, that movie can get dark real fast.
Yeah. That was
You're
not
right. There
too
is
bad.
also a
really
carnival. I wonder if Guillermo del Toro was on like some carnival binge where he's like, everything I do has to have a carnival in it, or else.
Did you ever watch
Maybe.
Carnival, the TV series? I
No.
loved that. I loved it. Loved it. Just ended though.
You just like the bearded lady.
No, I'm not into women with facial hair. I'm sorry.
That's not your thing.
Nah.
It's not your thing. I'm so sorry that you had to find out this way, Drew.
Yeah, I know.
It's never gonna happen, buddy.
All that time courting PJ, and this
Yes.
is how I figured things out.
I'm so
This is how
sorry.
you
I
find
saw
out.
that. Did you see that YouTube clip where the guy is like pranking on his girlfriend? He's like, "Oh, your hair looks so nice today. It's so the light is catching it. It actually looks pretty." And he goes, "Can I touch it?" And she's like, "Oh, sure, thanks." And then he goes and touches her mustache.
I've seen that.
She
I'm
got
okay with
mad.
it. I'm okay
She
with
got a
the
little
joke.
mad.
She did.
She got a little mad.
Oh my god.
This is like totally unrelated, but
We're
totally unrelated. But my
we're pulling for
boyfriend at the time was like, "Have you ever had your boobies weighed?" And I was like, "No." And he came around and was like, "Way." I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna marry you." That's funny. He's gonna kill me for telling that story.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I'm gonna go do that. I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know how that goes. Let us know how that goes.
Yeah.
Catch her in a good mood, because if not, you're gonna lose some
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah, and those are usually off limits for me. I know, once in a blue moon.
No touching.
Do you guys have a favorite Guillermo del Toro film? Is there one out there that you like?
Pan's Labyrinth has to be mine. Love that movie.
Do I don't know.
I know Pacific Rim though. Come on, that was a pretty good movie.
Pacific Rim's awesome.
I love that movie.
I've never seen that
The
movie.
second one sucked ass though.
What?
The second one was.
You've never
awful.
seen Pacific Rim, baby?
No.
Fuck.
Is it Rihanna
Failing
in
at
that?
life.
Am I wrong?
No. Yeah,
Are
no,
you
that's
sure
you're
she's
thinking
not
of
in that?
Battleship.
Oh, yeah, maybe I am. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, Battleship sucked.
Yeah, that's a turd.
Yeah,
Good
I'm
mimic,
actually
that
not
was
like a massive fan.
Really?
Mm,
I'm surprised.
yeah. I mean, like,
Pan's Labyrinth, that
I'm
was good. That was
intrigued
good.
by him, and I like his kind of like approach to stuff. Am I in love with any one of his movies? No. Are any of his movies on my top 10? No. Pan's Labyrinth probably just scared the shit out of me. When I was younger, and I was like, this is fucked up. Don't think I want to watch this anymore. And Hellboy, I was just, I just couldn't. The only thing good about that film was Ron Perlman.
What?
Yeah.
Hellboy's great.
I love Hellboy.
I'm so
Hellboy.
sorry to
both. I like both
this.
Hellboys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the Hellboys too. Blade 2, meh. Mimic was
really
good.
Blade 2 is not. Listen, do not compare Blade 2 with the other Blade films. Blade 2 is a separate film of its own, and it is great. It is awesome.
Maybe I just never watched the second one.
2.
I'm like, because the first one I was like, maybe I'll give that a
Blade
watch.
2 is a great film.
I'll give you
Great
this.
superhero.
Apparently, he directed the video game PT, the playable trailer that was going to be Silent Hill. That is fucking incredible. That's my favorite work. Right there.
Crimson Peak. Did I watch that?
So good. That trailer was
Crimson
like
Peak
the
looks
best, and then it
terrifying.
disappeared, and you can't get it anymore. And consoles with it downloaded sold for like $3,000. It's crazy. Yeah. Anyway,
there's
that was
also
awesome.
if you're going back and if you want a good like underrated kind of monster flick, horror flick, he did a movie called Mimic. He directed a film called Mimic. I think it had Maria Sorvino. I loved Mimic.
No, that movie was awful. No.
No way. It's great.
You were young. You didn't know any better back then.
I did. I was young and I knew probably more than I know now.
There's a movie, you wouldn't think about watching it when I thought this was the movie you're going to talk about. I think it was a Swedish film or something. It's called Trolls or Troll Hunter or something. These people actually go into the woods and get attacked by a real troll. Have you seen this?
You might be confusing. He did a cartoon called Troll Hunters for Netflix.
No, yeah, I know. That's why I thought it was the same movie, but that's a cartoon. But there was this foreign language film about trolls that was unbelievably good.
Yeah, I don't think that's Del Toro. I think that's somebody else.
In the thing. Is it trolls or giants or both? Giant trolls. Troll Hunter. Yeah, it's called Troll Hunter. It's a Norwegian film. 2010 dark fantasy film. It's a found footage mockumentary and the found footage is about a troll. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. I might have been high, but it was
found footage film guy. I think what was that film?
I'm not like
Blair Witch sort of. Yeah. After that, it sort of jumped the shark. Yeah.
I couldn't watch it. I got too nauseous, and then I was like, "This is terrible."
Yeah.
Why would I watch this?
Cloverfield, it was okay in the found footage sort of thing. It was sort of, but
try this troll. I agree with you. Like if it's a found footage movie, I'll be like, because of the exact same reasons you guys are saying it. But this one was interesting. I was very enthralled. I'd like to know what you think about it.
We've lost Drew's footage, your cam, but it should come back any second if your internet kicks up. Just due to quality issues. Yeah, as soon as you mentioned Blair Witch, it just went off. Like, oh god.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Blair Witch got me.
Oh my god, you're back! That's terrifying. That was very on point.
Yes.
You should have come back right next to the camera and been like, it's coming after me.
I got work to do. What do we got to do here? Got any questions? Any questions from the audience? Any questions from the audience?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, chat.
What do we got?
You got any questions? Anything to say on this particular trailer?
Because we're discussing Norwegian troll films, so we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here, guys.
I was actually going to compare one more thing from The Great Gatsby. How blanking on the name, it was like Dr. something, and the eyes were always watching. There's the baby with the third eye, or there's like they also have like a Cyclops boy who's like the all-seeing in this movie. Like, so it definitely is a freak show because I went through and there's definitely moments, but like going back to the tunnel with all like the eyes all over brought me back to The Great Gatsby, and like like something's always watching type of a thing, or like So
that was actually a pretty good film. That was with Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, and Carey Mulligan.
It was.
Yeah. And he was supposed to be in this. So. That would have been an interesting time.
He would have been good.
The mesmerist. Wayne corrected me there on what he is. He's a
Matthew always has the answer.
Mesmerist.
Always has the answer.
Wayne always has the answer. He's a genius. What can you say? Oh.
All right, what are you guys going to do for the rest of the day? What's on your agenda?
Work.
Cry, wallow in self-loathing.
What are you working on, Steph? Oh, Steph, I have to
know.
send you the script for another video that we got to do.
Oh, no worries.
Oh, that might have played
Seeing
time.
behind the scenes
All
stuff.
the scripts,
All the stuff.
videos.
You get a sneak peek into what Red Pear is actually like behind the scenes. We're still live. Don't announce anything crazy.
Don't
We're
announce
filming
anything.
today. I want to go on a tour. We're filming.
Oh my god.
Oh.
You ought to see all the equipment in the back of the studio. There is so much equipment in the back of the studio, you can actually not go out the back door. So if
I saw
anybody
that
wants to
yesterday.
shoot a movie, I got some equipment.
Nice.
I literally have
Wow.
a truck's
You
worth.
just want to shoot a movie.
I got it all. I had 12 by 12 silks now with their own high boys. 12 by 12s.
Wow.
I got
Fancy.
great big. I got enough.
No.
I got 4 big 2Ks. You could put 4 of those up behind a big 12 by 12. That'll look nice. That's gonna look nice. I like
It's
that.
gonna look real nice. It's gonna be real nice. It's gonna
It's
look as
equipment
nice as this
porn.
beautiful film. Nightmare Alley by Guillermo del Toro, coming out in December 2021.
No.
I don't know
You
who
need
this is in the chat, but they're asking if we've seen the movie Lost Boys.
I love Lost Boys.
Hell yeah.
Love that
Lost
movie.
Boys is amazing.
That's being
I
remade.
heard. Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
It's
I
based
heard
on
they're
a true
remaking
story.
it.
It is.
Uh,
The Santa Cruz story, the vampire capital of the world, where those
Yeah,
4 or 5 bodies got found with puncture marks and completely blood drained from their body in Santa Cruz.
Yeah, because
What?
vampires are real.
What?
Yeah, that actually
True
happened.
story. Yeah.
Vampires
And then-
are
and
real.
then
Why
peop-
did you say that with
the-
a tone of sarcasm? Haven't you seen Twilight, the greatest
Yeah.
vampire movie of all time? Now
That's why I never
that is
invite
heavy
anybody into my
sarcasm if
house.
you cannot tell. Terrible movie.
I never invite people into my house because they could be vampires.
Mm,
You never see me do that. Never.
Yeah.
Never say, "Hey, come on into my house."
Good shout.
I never do that with the vampires.
Oh my god.
it's good. It's good.
I feel sorry.
I just open the door and turn around and walk away. And if they don't come in, they don't come in.
They don't come in. You just say you're a vampire, and then you shut the door in their face.
And never invite them back.
You see, like,
Never invite 'em back.
And they're
knew
like,
it.
unless they're like, but I have wine, and then you're like, okay, you can come.
You can
Yeah.
cut it.
But I still
It's
don't
blood.
invite them in Oh, that's great. We'll drink it in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Hesitate? You hesitate and you can't walk across the threshold, no? You fucking vampire. You suck my blood.
Okay. Well, we now know PJ's hang
This
up
this
on,
went into
vampires.
like from a carnival film to vampire movies.
God. Got
So
another
actually
heat
is
advisory.
this has been
I
great.
think you should go watch Blade
Come
2
on.
again and
Yes.
reevaluate your love for vampire movies because it's awesome.
Absolutely.
I love vampires. I love vampire
And then-
movies. I love vampires.
Good. You
I
should.
just won't invite them in my
They
house.
love
so.
you.
They do.
It's my favorite of the romantic horror characters, and we've had this discussion before. You know, you've got Frankenstein, you've got Dracula, and you've got the Mummy, and they all have these really awesome backstories. And that I think that's why you see no really good horror characters of late that has that staying power because they just those stories underneath them is so good. It's just so well done.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to someone to make up another, like, come up with another iconic character, like a vampire or a Frankenstein or a mummy or what's the other? What's the
Fishman.
other one?
That'd be cool.
The
troll.
swamp creature. It's creature.
swamp.
It's like that. Just that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
That's
A
your shot.
werewolf.
Your
Thank you, Sky.
Oh,
Werewolf,
yes,
the lichens. Nice.
Yeah, Bram Stoker's 92 is good.
Nice shout, Sky.
Yeah.
What you doing?
Sky's sleeping on the couch next to me.
Oh, I
She's got a
see.
headache.
Yeah, cool. Well, I guess that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on Trailer Talk today. Talk about Nightmare Alley.
What were we on? What are we doing?
Guillermo
What
del
show
Toro.
is this?
We're still live. Oh my god. Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. We will be back next week with some more trailer talk, talking trash. I mean, trailer talk, talking
And you're just
Okay, bye.
All right, everybody.
Bye,
have a good
everybody.
one.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.